I told you we'd be really fast, and we're about to get into our top 4 matchups. We have Daniel Ramirez and Robert Matthews coming up. Also, we saw Brandon won the last matchup, but Ryan Haig is our other top 4 day, and we're gonna see one of those 2 battles. Our players battle the winner of this upcoming matchup in our final, just a few moments after the top 4. But first, we gotta find out who is gonna be on our top 2 today. So emotional support Pikachu, once again, give these players your wise word. Very, very, very wise. Very wise. Like that meme, it's like, oh, great emotional support Pikachu, give me wisdom. Wisdom is all about you. Don't worry, we'll get used to it. Deserve it for helping their Pelican here today. You've been a really, really good Pikachu. Alright, there's our match on stream. There's Daniel Ramirez and Robert Matthews. Ready to go. Alright. So, you're gonna see Daniel on the left side of the screen, Robert on the right. And we got, once again, Obama Snow coming back in. I mean, I've always loved snow teams, and this is no exception, because it's so rare to see. And we saw this earlier, that Excalibur, just Terra Poison Excalibur. Holy is that thing powerful. However, it does have a bit here. This is Poison round, and seen earlier in the day that little that book for a giraffe on field right now. Got Psychics. Excalibur's got to watch its back now. But you're going to see Daniel on the left side with a Bomb Snow, Talonflame, Sableye, Great Tusk, Dragonite, and Excalibur, and Robert on the right with Mungus, Iron Bundle, Arcanine, Fluttermane, Iron Hands, and for Ridgedraft. Okay, this is an interesting one. A lot of potential setup here for Daniel. You do not, your Bomb Snow is just kind of up for offense, but you don't have, you have Sableye with the screens, right? And you also have Talonflame with Tailwind. So, 2 options here, on and tail, right? You could just go hyper offense. I mean, Dragonite's also a good option. Bomb Snow plus Excalibur, just setting, it's kind of a setup in a way, because you're going to go ahead and activate that Snow defense boost. So that's going to be really useful, right? So Sableye, good for the screens, and then you have a Bomb Snow to set up the defense. If you're Robert here, I think, yeah, just running that team's just a really good, solid, all-around team, right? It's got some of the most common Pokemon. I think the 3 most common: Iron Bundle, Flutter, Hands, as well as some other just really, really useful support Pokemon. Amoonguss, one of the most amazing support Pokemon, Arcanine, and then Ridgedraft. But we're gonna go ahead and see that Fluttermane lead with Arcanine and Sableye and a Bomb Snow. So a Bomb Snow just kind of sets up right away, gets that defense boost going. But it is now got a pretty big target on its back, because you see that Arcanine, right? So Arcanine definitely gonna carry Flare Blitz, so you gotta watch out here. Because this Bomb Snow has Earth Power, I can go for that on Arcanine, or you can just swap on out. Potentially switching out into Excalibur could be an interesting position, because you do defense boost. If that Flare Blitz is to be expected, you could get that. Although sacrificing one. Right. That Fluttermane really can't do, we're gonna see Fake Out on Arcanine, so it's not gonna move. Moonblast, Fluttermane can't, I was gonna say can't do too much. It can chunk a Bomb Snow here. Arcanine's gonna flinch, and a Bomb Snow gets a Blizzard, which isn't really gonna do too much on either of Robert's Pokemon, just because they both either resist it or are very specially defensive. But it puts Sableye in a position I could go for a foul play. Honestly, if I was Sableye, I would go for a light screen. Bomb Snow gonna protect, kind of bait that Arcanine go into it for the Flare Blitz. Moonblast for the Fluttermane onto that Sableye. Sableye is gone. No light screen, no reflect. And that Arcanine is going to go ahead and go for that Flare Blitz into Bomb slot. But if you've got Great Tusk, it's a good option here. It's specifically Terra Great Tusk. Oh, we've got Dragonite. That's actually also probably even better. Dragonite's, yeah, it's gonna help a lot. This Dragonite is, so yeah, we saw it earlier with Rock Slide. That just looks like almost blood thing is. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, you really gotta. It's a Bomb Snow's kind of just sitting. The Arcanine's gonna switch, because even if he gets hit with Fluttermane, not Moonblasted, it's gonna go in Iron Hands here, which is quite nice actually. We did see earlier that the Iron Hand very fast this Iron, so Excalibur will struggle. There's that Terra Normal Dragonite. Loves wearing that diamond crown. And it is going to go for a Moonblast. The Fluttermane is going to go for that Moonblast onto the Bombsnow. Doesn't pick up the knockout as expected. However, now is kind of the crucial part. We saw Rock Slide be selected. Dragonite. Oh, it's going to miss on one. Okay, it was the Iron Hands. That's the one you needed it not to hit. But still not enough for Fluttermane. Yeah, now you're at a real... okay, yeah, Robert played that one beautifully because if Daniel's not a really good spot here because take a look at what's on the field. There's an Iron Hands. What does both of Daniel's Pokemon have in common? They are weak to fighting. Yeah, Captain Iron Hands has probably the best fighting game right now, at least one of them. Drain Punch and a lot of bulk. Can't do much. Not to mention that Fluttermane is able to go for so much. We're gonna see Fake Out on Dragonite first, which you know is gonna work because of that bulk. Ice Shard will pick up the knockdown on Fluttermane. We do also, if you're, I guess that was really smart for Robert here because you can go ahead and flinch that Dragonite, make sure it doesn't do anything, and it's gonna be able to just stay still for a turn and lose its multi-scale. Arcanine coming in, gonna go for the Intimidate just to add more chance of this not succeeding. I think here. Yeah, I think here the big key was that Sableye not going for screens right at the start. That hurt. That hurt a lot because these Drain Punches are going to do so much more. Blade Rush onto the Arcanine is not going to knock it out, and it's going to actually proc its berry. And also means that these are going to do a lot more of these attacks. Will-O-Wisp going on to Dragonite, but it misses it. Dragonite does get that Rock Slide off, which is not going to pick up the knockout on Arcanine. It potentially flinch Iron Hands though? No, it's gonna get that Drain Punch on Excalibur, which is going to one-hit KO it thanks to that Glaive Rush, and that Iron Hand is gonna recover a little bit of Rock Slide that it got hit with. It's going back to full health. Alrighty, this game's pretty much wrapped up in Robert's favor here. You just Drain Punch that Dragonite. That's it. Multi-skill, you kind of win it, your best bet. And yeah, if you don't give into the Arcanine, it's gonna do solid, but it's not gonna KO that Iron Hands, which is what you needed to do because we saw earlier, +2 Iron Hands would be able to knock out Dragonite with the screens up. That Drain Punch is not quite there, but it's close enough. At this point here, yeah, I was gonna say, if you bring out something like Iron Bundle or really any 13 HP on Dragonite, it's free. Yeah. However, good news. One thing that I do want to point out is, you know, Robert had the command Iron Punch here. We're gonna see that throughout the Robert's side. Just gonna be Iron Bundle into Terra Ghost. Yeah, that's smart. That way we don't get extreme speeded. I mean, it didn't really. I don't think it really would have mattered at the end of the day, but like, that's the good Terra because that. Just in case, you know, and it worked out. But what I was gonna say is the survivability on Daniel's side. It may have been Robert's match because of as soon as those last two Pokemon were on the field, but the survivability on Daniel's side for those last two Pokemon was really, really nice to the point where I think, if positioned right, Daniel can make a real comeback. Yeah, I think honestly, I would have. I think Terrapoint's in the Max Cal. I just think Terrapoint's in the Max may have been. Just solely because Excalibur can take care of, and Fluttermane just caused so much issue right away. It got rid of Sableye so much. It put a lot of pressure on Bombsnow because it could 2-hit KO it. I think honestly just leaving the power so it's probably going for Ice Cold. That or actually Sableye's fine. Just go for the light screen. That's what I would. Robert, a really good player here. Goes perfectly. The Pokemon. Just like looking at it here, there's a lot that hits and moves, and the other one was I don't know necessarily Brick Root. If you're not bringing relatively fast, and everything had a roll on Robert's. Arcanine was the Intimidator, Iron Hand. The Drain Punch, you know, it's the things that were weak to ice, or sorry, it's things, the ice types that are weak to it. And the Fluttermane just destroyed at the start. And Bundle was just to pick up some extra coverage, right? So I think everything worked really well on Robert's side. I'd be surprised to see a switch. And there's Arcanine Fluttermane, yeah. So there you go. And we're gonna see Excalibur and Talonflame. Okay, Talonflame's interesting. Talonflame's an interesting one. The Arcanine's just good. Arcanine with that Intimidate, it's amazing. There's wouldn't be surprised. Oh, okay. I think here what we saw one thing with okay, so Arcanine's gonna switch out really smart because you want to get those Intimidates cycling. Iron Hands again, really smart because you got Fake Out. And there is that Terrestrial coming out now, and that Terrestrial is poisoned Excalibur, which is so dangerous, so dangerous. We were talking about this earlier. There's not a lot that can hit that thing. That thing is just insane. And the bulk is great. It's got great attack, but you know what? It just did have it had an Intimidate, and that crippled it earlier when we saw it. But that Talonflame is going to Tailwind, get its speed up, so Icicle Spear can hit that Fluttermane first. I think though that Intimidate may be key. It looks like it's going to be a 5. It's going to need 5 to KO it. Yeah, it is. It gets the 5th one, so that Fluttermane is gone. Really well played there by Daniel. Kind of hoping for that 5th hit, but I got it. And that Fluttermane just does not do anything. Now you are in a really good spot, but the tough part, Arcanine does Intimidate, right? So you're now -2. I think here, best bet, like this is where it's really nice. This is the power of Talonflame, right? You have a lot of options, right? There's not much that Arcanine can do. You can Flare Blitz on Talonflame, but you're probably going to live. So even if you get hit here, that Iron Hands most likely will, I'm guessing, is going to Fake Out. I think we're going to see Will-O-Wisp on Iron. If you get a Will-O-Wisp on Iron Hands, then that's it. Like, that's going to be so tough to beat. And there's that Will-O-Wisp, what I tell you. Will-O-Wisp on Iron Hands is just going to do so much damage. Yeah, the Iron Hands getting burned is really crucial. Flare Blitz on that Talonflame is not going to do a ton. Does around 50-ish%, but it also cripples Arcanine a little bit. And that Iron Hands with the Wild Charge, it should pick up the knockout even with the burn. Yeah, it's nothing to worry out here. But that is just going to be a nuisance. That burn is going to really affect Robert's chances here, considering that he's just down to 3 Pokemon left. And unfortunately for Iron Hands here, everything... the best bet is Wild Charge. It's on that Excalibur, assuming that Iron Bundle is that last one. Yeah, that Terra Poison just worked really well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Excalibur swap out here because it is. So it's -2, right? Dragonite does so much. It just does so much. Even and especially right now, I honestly think not Terra Dragonite is slightly better. The only thing is you gotta watch out for a Will-O-Wisp on the Arcanine, but doesn't not necessarily gonna matter all that much because of Excalibur, right? So there is the Rock Slide from Dragonite. Yeah, I think that's probably the wiser option. Get the flinch chance as well, and half of Arcanine help here. But Arcanine is gonna get that berry up. Pushing into a Bomb Snow is really a good call, actually. It's also pretty defensive. The Will-O-Wisp is going to miss on that Dragonite, so Dragonite gonna have another chance here. Wild Charge, a resisted move onto the Bomb Snow. Well played there. Now with that Tailwind in play, you know you're gonna most likely outspeed Arcanine. Oh, it's gonna be a close one actually if you're a Bomb Snow. Honestly, yeah, I think a Bomb Snow could go for a couple things. Protect, right? Just kind of stall out. You can switch back to Excalibur. You can go for Earth Power on Arcanine. I don't necessarily hit, but it would be useful. You can also go Blizzard to hit the Iron Hand some more, and a combo of that Rock Slide's really solid. Robert's side, kind of just gotta keep doing the same thing you've been doing. That Rock Slide's gonna do really solid. Should pick up a knockout on that Arcanine on the next turn. A Bomb Snow goes for the Blizzard, which I said is going to do solid. It actually does pick up the knockout on the Arcanine after the Rock Slide. It was possibly thanks to a critical hit. Depends on how bulky that Arcanine was, but now it's just Iron Hands and one more Pokemon. And that Volt Switch is smart, because not only are you going to go ahead and remove that Dragonite's multi-scale, but you're also going to reactivate that Fake Out for this next turn. What is an Iron Bundle being the last Pokemon? Okay, now we're into a position where this could go either way. Just Iron Bundle's threatening because it's got Freeze Dry, and there's something called Dragonite on the other side that is 4 times weak, and the Terra is not in play. That being said, Bundle is weak to a Bomb Snow, and you have energy ball. Yeah. You're gonna have to tear that bundle. You have to tear that bundle, but if you tear that bundle, you also lose the Icicle Spear resistance, so that'll do quite a bit, and you can pretty much not knock out that Excalibur. I mean, you could go for Hydro Pump, but you're probably gonna live one, and then you're gonna basically go down to that Icicle Spear. I think the right call here, yeah, is exactly that. Just try and hit that bundle to where it can get Icicle Spear or Glaive Rush into Oblivion. There's that Terrestrial. It's going to actually be Terrestrial onto the Iron Hands. I was expecting an Iron Bundle, but to be honest, they're both solid. You know, it's not like one's better than the other in this specific method, I think. Extreme Speed going to go connect with the Iron Hands. Actually does pretty little. Freeze Dry, yeah, bye-bye Dragonite. It faints. Oh, no, it doesn't. It survives with 4 HP. Oh, my goodness. And that is the power of Assault Vest. That is insane that Dragonite, that's like giving me flashbacks of what happened a few tournaments ago. But oh my gosh, that energy ball is gonna definitely connect with the Iron Bundle. I think Daniel just won that game. Wow. I mean, not to mention that burn on Iron Hands was really crucial, because look at how much damage Abomasnow did. As long as Abomasnow lived, then it could have picked up the knockout. And at this point, just could Extreme Speed Blizzard, and that's it. Wow, 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 wow. What a match. And Daniel Ramirez is going to the final. Oh my goodness. I mean, the Assault Vest Dragonite didn't necessarily matter, because at the end of the day, you still had Excalibur with Ice Shard that needed, and also Icicle Spear, plus Glaive Rush. Both are really good options, and it would have been able to handle whatever Dragonite put it at the end of the day, but just surviving it, I thought that was going down for sure. 4 times weakness from Iron Bundle. Wow. Yeah, okay, sorry, I believe Robert won that first matchup. We're going to game 3. So, I think it's 1-1 right now. Yeah, there we go. That's 6. That's much better. Never mind about Daniel going to the final. We're gonna go to game 3. Sorry, that was a miss there. But what do you do now? I mean, that was a thrilling enough conclusion. Yeah, we got one more match going on. I don't even know now at this point. That was like the adrenaline high, right? It's all the way up here. Now let's bring it back down and focus on this next final match. Whoever wins this is going to the final to play against the winner of Brian. So here we go. I think here, both in that case, Daniel just played really well at those the times of the burns, and the fake outs, and just positioning. Everything positioning was great. Not to mention, of course, Terra Excalibur, which I think has been the star of the day. When you really look at that thing, anytime it has been brought out, it's been really, really useful. I think if you're Daniel, you just gotta plan that same thing again. Honestly, if you're Robert, let's bring out for a draft. Go for Psychics. Get rid of that Excalibur. Get your Trick Room up. Go for it, you know, at this, because you know the opposing team is really fast. The only thing you gotta worry about is Dragonite. But if you can get their Excalibur to poison right away, go for it. And speaking of for a draft, there it is, for a draft Flutter Mane. And Talonflame Excalibur. Okay, the only issue with leading for a draft is now, okay, Excalibur is gonna be scared, but it's also not gonna be scared, because, okay, it's a bit complicated, right? Excalibur, it's gonna be scared of for a draft of the Terras. If not, it's gonna be scared of Flutter Mane. Excalibur could still move first, and without the Intimidate, good chance that Flutter Mane's gonna go down. I think Terra, right now, if I were Robert, I would protect that Flutter Mane. Yeah, it's gotta protect on that Flutter Mane, and for a I would just go for that trick. Yeah, or switch it out. That works too. Honestly, switching into something that can benefit from that trigger. But I was expecting it to, right? Arcanine's really solid because you're gonna get that Intimidate. If this Excalibur to Terra, like I was expecting here, then this for draft was the right call, and there's that Terra. And that for draft was the right Pokemon to bring in, because it is going to be able to do super effective damage to Excalibur for the first time today. First Pokemon that really gets Excalibur going here. Like, it's going to give it a run for its money. Taunt coming out on the first draft. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I don't know. Icicle Spear onto the Arcanite's going to do very little, especially thanks to that Intimidate that that Excalibur just took. It's gonna be a matter whether or not, and it's gonna get hit 5 times. It's like 30%. That's not terrible. The question is the Psychic coming out or Trick Room coming out? Psychic. Yeah, that was expected. Wonderful play by Robert. That gets that Excalibur down to 62%, or 62 HP. About roughly 30%, just under 30%, I think. Really, really good. Really, 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 really good play. Now if you're Daniel, you're like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Excalibur is no longer the big threat. Yeah, protecting it and just kind of seeing what Robert does is the right call here. Talonflame gets the Tailwind up, that's going to be useful. I think right now, yeah. Snarl gonna not really do too much here, especially it will actually knock Talonflame's special attack down, but that's fine because Talonflame doesn't have any special attack. And this Furdraff is gonna go for another Psychic. Yeah. I feel like Flareblitz. Flareblitz is probably yeah. Excalibur. Oh no. Base is swap up here where we instead of that Furdraff going for Psychic onto Excalibur. No, Arcanine's gonna switch out, so most likely gonna go into the Excalibur. So. Going into Iron Hands, really wise position here, because the Brave Bird going to connect here onto the Furdraff. It does like 20 or 30%. Looks like 20, 25. Blade Rush also going to connect onto the Furdraff here. Sorry, Brave Bird connected on Furdraff, yeah. But the Psychic's going to get rid of that Excalibur. It's gone. Wow. I think it's the first time today we've actually seen on stream that Excalibur faint while Terra poisoned. That's just how powerful it is. But that's the important thing. Furdraff shook off the taunt. Guess what's coming? It's Trickle time. Yeah, Daniel kind of has to know that. You gotta fake out that talent. You have to fake out that talent, right? You have to be like, okay, this thing is really threatening, and if I can fake it out, then I prevent the Will-O-Wisp, I prevent the taunt, right? I mean, Abomasnow is really slow, that'll be useful, but it's not that hard to knock out. It's got a focus sash for a reason, right? So I think the best bet is to just go for the fake out on Talonflame. It doesn't have Covert Cloak, so you a wide line, right? That's gonna help for your Will-O-Wisp. But I think you just go for that fake out on Talonflame, set up your Trick Room for a draft, and finish this matchup. There we go. There's that Terra. I'm gonna go ahead and take a guess that Terra is gonna Iron Hands once again, which is now tearing into fire. Guess what? No more Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, now Talonflame's just sitting. It's not a duck, but it's a sitting duck. Right? Can't really do much. There's that Will-O-Wisp. Yeah, so that's actually smart because I'm surprised though. I was expecting a taunt for sure, but I guess maybe the Blizzard was gonna knock out. I thought Furdraff would have lived the Blizzard, but Abomasnow was not too specially. It's not too specially. Special attack's solid, but it's not the best. But yeah, I guess it could have done enough. But it doesn't really matter. You're just gonna Drain Punch it and get back to full health, and you can't get burned. You know? So wonderful, wonderful Terra there from Robert. And that Flutter Mane is there just kind of to pick things up. At this point, yeah, I think it's gonna be your last Pokemon here versus Iron Hands. Like, yeah, this Flutter Mane's just gonna act as support. Iron Bundles in the back is gonna act as support. Yeah, Flutter Mane gonna protect itself. That's kind of smart, honestly. Kind of wait for that Tailwind to go away. That Brave Bird's not gonna connect with the Flutter Mane. Blizzard not gonna connect with the Flutter Mane either. And honestly, that's what you need to hit because with Iron Hands, it's hard to hit with these two specific Pokemon. So if you could have gotten anything out on that Flutter Mane, it would have been really useful. But that Wild Charge gonna connect with the Talonflame, gets rid of it. And now we're gonna see that Tailwind pewter out, and now this is Flutter Mane's time to shine because it protected on the right turn. We know that this thing can do massive damage. I think this game goes to Robert. I don't see this going to me. That was a really, really skillfully played game, by the way. Yeah, I think you can Moonblast on either, honestly. Yeah, on the Abomasnow, you know it's gonna knock out anyways, and then at that point, Dragonite, once you get rid of its multi-skill here, you'll be able to just go for and we're gonna see Rock Slide first, which doesn't do a ton onto Ether. Could potentially push the Iron Hands though. That was a critical hit on the Iron Hands, but it still gets the Volt Switch out, which is really useful. You just honestly need to cripple a Dragonite like 2 HP because after that, Flutter Mane could just quick Moonblast and win the game. I think that's what we're gonna see in just a moment. And Arcanine coming out gets that Intimidate just to cripple a bit more. You also have the potential burn. Yeah, this game goes to Robert, and Robert's gonna go to the final. That's it. I'm calling. I don't think there's anything here. Moonblast can't miss, and it's gonna be pretty effective. This Dragonite is gonna live it, but then at the end you have Fake Out, right? The Dragonite has no reasonable way to recover. It didn't go for extreme speed, so the Flare Blitz is gonna connect. Robert Matthews goes to the final. That is insane. That adrenaline rush of a match was absolutely nuts. I mean, when you're like, once again, on the edge of your seat, just looking at this, for me, like watching this matchup was like a roller coaster, right? It was one versus the other, and then all of a sudden there's that Dragonite that's right with 4 HP, and then with the Dragonites. One thing we've seen in this matchup is Dragonite constantly surviving with like 13 air, between 4 and 13 HP. But we're gonna see Robert again in the final in just a few moments. Isn't that right, Emotional Support Pikachu? And I believe our other finalists are still playing, so go get some water, stay hydrated, get a snack, whatever you need to do. Come on back here in just a few moments to watch who takes home the victory in our 4th challenge Sunday. Stick around. Emotional Support Pikachu will be judging you if you don't. See you later.